So we're launching live on YouTube, and we are on March 24th, 2022. And I started saying hello to a bunch of our members. We'll continue. So we have Stu with his house there in the background from our last conversation, which is great, out in the wilderness. Renee's here. Our fabulous Gail is here. Nadea. We got Rima. Good to see you here, Rima. Patricia's here. Shak is here. Rebecca's here. Renee, and many more joining as we speak. And I was just kind of listening on to Eddie's conversation here with Vivian, with Jay. And it was really great. And it actually reminded me of a conversation I had yesterday with one of our students. And let me just first say, because I did see a couple of new names, welcome to our daily success calls. We have these calls every day at this time, wherever you are in the world. And these calls are all about, how to become the leader in your business that you want to be. They're not the how-to calls, how to upload products, how to integrate with this and how to do that. But we do have a help call after this, out of the kindness of the hearts of the students. And I will talk about it at the end. So just so everybody knows, oh, Liana came on. Good to see you, Liana. And so, yesterday I had this conversation with one of our students who joined the Launch 100 program. But it was an interesting conversation of how we got there. And so in the beginning of the conversation, it was a lot of her struggles, her personal struggles. And I won't list them, out of respect for her, but let's just, they were profound, not only financial, but also family and things that she personally was going through and health struggles. So a lot of things that she had to overcome and really find the strength to move forward. But what was very interesting is towards kind of the end of the conversation, as she was making her decision to join the program, she had said, if I continue to do everything exactly as I'm doing it right now, I already know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. I know how things are going to look for myself. And so I'm ready to take this leap of faith. These are her words. She's like, I'm ready to take this leap of faith. I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to make this happen for myself and for my family so that I can pull myself out of the situation that I'm in. And so listening to Eddie, even as he was talking about determination. He was talking about building momentum, getting momentum going. And he was talking about how we've been structured in society, of what work looks like. Work hard, work as much as you can, go for it, and then build your retirement or build whatever you're trying to build as, buy a house, buy a car, whatever. And so we're kind of sold on this idea, and maybe we follow that for a time, and maybe that works for us for a while. But what's interesting about the programs here that we're in, the low-hanging system that everyone here has joined, and the Launch 100 that we offer, it's kind of this moment where, and I want to hear from you after this as well, it's kind of this moment where we say, all right, enough of the old, enough of what I already know, enough of the patterns that I've been locked into and just kind of on this, wheel that's turning, where I just can continue to repeat the same things over and over again, kind of like this groundhog effect. I'm ready for a change, and I'm going to take this leap of faith. So all of you have done that. You've joined the low-hanging system. You've invested. Everyone put in, some money, and you said, okay, I'm ready for this change. I'm invested. And for those who joined the Launch 100, great. You're getting that extra support and some, people to guide you and take you kind of hand in hand through the process. But for all of us, right? For all of us, those in Launch 100, those in low-hanging system, once we're there, once we're on board, once we're in it, now, you have to bring that determination. I'm using Eddie's words, out from you and make the changes in your life to see the outcome that you want. So, just having a picture and a goal and a dream isn't enough, right? If we don't make the changes in our everyday and start taking action, we're not going to end up seeing the results that we want, right? Something has to change. Something has to not be that same rinse and repeat kind of thing of how our day was going up until now. There has to be a structural change. And another beautiful thing about the low-hanging system is, even right as you onboard, the first video that you watch, either by John Lavinia or myself, your welcome call, is all about like our daily mode of operation, where we're offering you this method to create a structural change to your day. Because maybe some of you have not taken the time to sit quietly and, either meditate or kind of envision or go through that. And maybe you haven't taken the time to every day move your body in some way, right? Some way or form. And maybe you're not reading these books that we recommend up until now, right? Hopefully now you are. And as we, those are the changes that we make internally, but then where are the changes that relate to the business? So, I think it was Vivian in the beginning, she said, okay, well, I'm trying to figure out all the things at the moment, there's all these components and I'm trying to figure them out. So without giving the time to figure it out, without dedicating, a specific amount of time, getting on Adam's calls, coming to these calls, asking for help, going on the Facebook group, whatever resources you already have available. Obviously, if in your Launch 100, you have those coaching sessions, but, without making that structural change to our day, it's going to look the same, right? There's the famous kind of quote that goes around, what is the definition of insanity, right? Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again, but expecting different results, right? So obviously something has to change. There has to be a new pattern introduced, there a new habit that we invite in. And Eddie, I'm excited that your hand is already up. I'll just say a couple more words here, just to reference some of the books also that we recommend, right? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And this book is out of copyright, so you can download it. So it's a very, interesting, even the way he writes, but he talks about from the very beginning, first managing the thoughts and understanding that our thoughts are things. And then the desire and the faith, right? The faith that, all right, that, like she said, right? Like the student said, I'm taking this leap of faith. And oftentimes faith is linked to religion. We're using it in a different kind of context at the moment so that it can appeal across the board to everyone. And those that are comfortable, with the religious kind of feel to that, that's great. But I know, just to honor everyone that's on the call, it doesn't necessarily have to have that root, but faith in yourself, faith in what's going to happen, faith in a greater scheme of things that is about to unfold for you, right? So that kind of energy, that kind of when she said, "I'm about to take this leap of faith," even if we think about that literally, right? It's almost like you're standing on the edge of this cliff and you just jump off. I mean, that's a scary thing to do. That requires a lot of strength and fortitude from the inside to like, go for it. All right. I'm shedding the old, I'm leaving behind whatever patterns. It aligns great for us for springtime. I still have that picture from Tuesday, right? Which we said, all right, cleaning it all out, whatever we don't need, spring cleaning, and then ready for the new life, ready for the new adventure, ready for the new you. So it's like, that saying that she used, I'm ready, I'm taking this leap of faith. I understand that if I just continue to do things as they are, I'm not going to see the results that I want. And so something has to change, something has to shift. And Eddie was talking about the same thing, as he was explaining to one of the students here, he was talking to Jay and Vivian. And, just that idea of a mind shift, right? So that it begins there. And then what are you actually doing in your day to day to create the change that you want to see? And even to reference another book that we recommend, Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind, I always say that's a great one to start with, right? By T. Harv Eker. And if you compare him to Napoleon Hill, he has a totally different way of writing. Yeah. He's like, Napoleon Hill is kind of, more, if you could say, antique way of speaking and writing and, addressing these ideas versus T. Harv Eker, who is so modern and so like right now that sometimes it's a little much. And so very interesting, the contrast of the two. But he talks about, one of the principles that comes to mind as I'm speaking is that rich people play the game to win and poor people play the game not to win. This is how he words it, right? Poor and rich, very, very loosely, and really great to get ourselves used to it. And I think that just that saying, I'll repeat it here, rich people play the game to win and poor people play the game not to lose. What did I say? Did I say it not right like that? Sorry, Shad put it in you put it in like to emphasize it. All right. Yeah, not to lose, right? Because oftentimes I'll get on calls with students and like, okay, well, I just want to break even, or I just want to get the investment back, or let's see how it goes. That's kind of the energy to it. Versus, right, the energy from yesterday and what Eddie was even relating to. It's like, no, we're in it to win it, right? We're in it to win it. And we're going to take that leap and we're going to take that jump and we're going to make the changes that need to be made in order to see the results that we want. So obviously, yeah, it starts in the mind, it starts in the thoughts, it starts in our goals, it starts in our dreams. It's, we're thinking about it. All of you have thought about it before you join low hanging system. You're like, okay, what should I do? How should I create more money? Then you saw that, an idea sparked. And then you're like, all right, I'm in it, here it is, and I'm ready to go. But now we need to make the shift and the changes in order to see it, in order to see the results. And so, are you in it to win it? That's another book that we recommend. But I'll stay with these two for today. And so, it really is that attitude, right? Of even if we think about sports or teams. If a team were to get on a football field or in a basketball match or something like that, and just say, well, let's try not to lose today, guys. Tom Brady, if Tom Brady ever got on a field and said, you know what, let's just try not to lose, he wouldn't be Tom Brady. It wouldn't be that kind of message. They're in it to win it, and they're going to take that leap of faith, and they're going to make sure to make the adjustments to their life in order to see the results that they want. So obviously, there has to be some kind of shift, some kind of change. We have to be ready for that in our mind. And what a better time than springtime, where everything is changing and blooming around us anyways. And this is relevant for those that have been here for a long time. And this is relevant for those that have just joined. All right. This is a principle that we need to come back to time and time again and review. Remember, we had a conversation about, time management and adjusting our day. That's something that you look at all the time, weekly basis, day-to-day basis. You always are kind of checking in to see, all right, did I make the shift and the changes to arrive where I want to be? Are the actions that I'm taking throughout my day, are they serving my end goal? Are they leading me down that path, or am I investing my time in other things and going down a different path? And then that is what I'm creating. So just being aware, right? So that we're not just blind, going through the motions and just going on that same wheel, but now we've invested in something new. We're actually taking action and, saying, all right, this is the time. Where's my leap of faith? Where is my change? Here is, what I'm ready to do, what I'm prepared to do. And it can look differently for each and every one of you. It can look different. Some of you might dedicate 4 hours, and some of you might dedicate 1 hour, and some of you might dedicate, 6 hours. And there's no right or wrong answer, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it. But as long as there is that change and that shift and that dedication, and it can start first with a feeling and a thought, and then later, needs to move into action, right? So a part of our daily mode of operation, we say we do money-making activities every day. Every day we engage in money-making activities. And so, that really is, I thought that this really resonates with everything that y'all were talking about in the beginning of the call. And also, with this conversation that I just had, and listening to someone else say these words to a student who's ready to really, take her life by the reins and say, all right, I'm doing this for myself, especially after listening to the hardship and all the things that she's going through and all of that. And to hear that kind of conviction and determination, that was Eddie's words. Word was determination. And that's a great word for us for today. That kind of determination to create the shift and the change that you want to see in your life. So let's hear from everyone here. We had a couple more students join us. We got Joseph online. Scott was absent on Tuesday. We missed you, Scott. Patty's here. All right, here's Shaq. Let's hear from Eddie first. Spark the interest of this conversation.
All right, I'm trying to find out where I want to start this, see, because you've thrown out some sports analogies, and you don't want to do that with me, believe me. But I'm gonna go there. I am a Pittsburgh Steeler. Pittsburgh, that's football. Now, I know I'm talking to an international crowd because football, there's a lot of people in soccer. For 39 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers was a laughingstock in the NFL. They started in 1933. The owner didn't even like football. He did it because his friends found out he had some money because he had won some money on a horse. And they begged him, please buy our team because they needed the investment money. That's why. They would call the Pittsburgh Pirates right after the baseball team. This is the Rooney family. Art Rooney liked horses, he liked boxing, and he liked baseball. He didn't even like football. Now, if you see the Pittsburgh Steelers today and they play somebody, you won't believe the fanfare. The terrible towers, and I don't care what, right there, you in Texas, Karen, they play the Dallas Cowboys, it'll be as many Pittsburgh Steelers there as there are Cowboy fans. And they can't stand each other. They hate each other because of the history, because this team that everybody used to step on for 39 years won a miracle game in 1972. And it's still the number one most enigmatic play in all of sports in America. They got 50 list of them. It's number one. It's a play. Look, they say God stepped in and helped them win this game. Now, you can look it up. It's called Immaculate Reception. You can look it up. It's that, I'm not saying, you can hear my voice. I became a Pittsburgh Steeler that year because it helped me. Now, you'll learn something in your life. Everything that you get from divine is there for a reason. Now, this sounds crazy, but when you say faith, take the religion out of it. It's straight from it's how the universe works. You can hear the bombast in my voice. This is what you got to bring to entrepreneurship. You just get this in you, because when you get this feeling, it will pick you up, wake you up, and give you what you need. Overwhelm will turn into industry. Frustration will turn into, you will be. And see what the Pittsburgh Steelers learned that day that they won that game was how to win, become winners in here. They became the team of the decade. The NFL actually changed the rules because of their dominance. Now, this is actually truth. The Mel Blount rule, don't touch a receiver, because Pittsburgh was stopping them. We got to stop this team because they have learned how to win. That's how you want to get so good at what you do. I mean, I'm looking at Stu. I was talking about Stu on my job yesterday. A chainsaw. No. You see a guy looking like him with a chainsaw, you think it's a remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. No, I'm finna make some beautiful flowers. And all I'm saying is, what talent do you bring to this enterprise? What skill sets? All of them will work it. Faith is a word like this. You put up a vision and the universe says, okay, that's what you want. We're going to give you that. Now, do you really want this? Because we're going to give you. So if you putting out something that you don't really want, guess what? You're going to still get it. So you might as well go the faith route. Put up what you do want. I want to win. and I'm gonna do what it necessary to win. Don't the frustration that y'all hate people talking about it and the overwhelm, that's good stuff. Because all you do is flip it. Okay, I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means you see a whole lot of snowflakes in a snowstorm, and you're trying to grab which snowflake to get. Well, grab one. It's gonna disappear as soon as you touch it anyway, but it's in you. Get one of them. Whatever little idea you got, because you got to use all of them eventually anyway. That's a good thing, because you know what you're working on. Nothing worse than being in a dark room and you can't even see anything. You don't know what to do. You get a light, start looking, and you know where to start, because you don't want to step on a nail or glass bar, whatever. You're looking around. That's how you do it. This is the most exciting thing you can get your hands on. And I'm trying to calm down because I know Scott got to talk. Stu want to talk, and everybody want to talk. You do want to talk. And those who don't want to talk, start talking, because that's how you get going. Get started. First line in the paragraph, and you end up writing your novel. That's how life works. So get some of this faith, grab hold of this thing here, and get in this jungle called life and run barefoot through the woods and enjoy yourself. Thank you for this opportunity to bring myself here. Do it. This is well to be done. Thank you, Karen. Back to you.
I love it. That first of all, a lot of things came up. One thing that you've mentioned twice, which I feel like maybe I've missed out on. Stu, did you show some of your work on a call where I wasn't here and I missed it, or no? Or is he just imagining? No. Okay. So it's your imagination. I was like, did you get to see? Because you were like describing these little figures and stuff. And then, you were also talking about just do it kind of energy, like get at it. And I love that. And you said, flip it. That's where I wanted to go. You said, flip it. And that's something that I use a lot with my kids. It's very interesting. The emotions, they reside right next to each other. You can be furious, angry, but happiness is right next door and you don't even realize it. It's just so close. If you can flip it. So, you talked about frustration, overwhelm. If we can turn that into excitement for something new, excitement to learn, excitement to, the thrill of, getting better at something. If we can flip that, I think that is so valuable. And even just practicing that as adults, getting used to that kind of ability to not hang on to one emotion and be stuck with it, but you get to choose and you're able to flip it, so to speak, is an excellent, fantastic practice that I recommend to everyone, just for fun. You play, it's kind of like actors. I mean, think about it. Actors, they have to turn on a switch. Okay, cry now, smile now, be angry now. Okay, be, super in love with this guy that you just met or something like that, right? You have to turn it on. So we have that ability to play with our emotions. And it's so important that we get used to that flip switch, because that's what happens sometimes when we feel like it's out of our control, where somebody else is controlling or something else is controlling our emotions, where really, truly, it is our only thing that we can choose, so we have to practice that. So, Eddie, I think that was one of the most important things that was said today, is that idea of flipping it, flipping that energy and playing with that. So thank you for that. Scott, you have to tell us what happened on Tuesday. Where were you? Not the thing. It's about springtime without you.
Hello, Karen. Hello, everyone. You must understand, it's like 4:15 in the morning here.
I know.
The alarm went. I never heard it. I just slept right through. I was just exhausted.
I thought that. I was like, he probably just didn't wake up. That's okay.
Oh, no, unfortunately. Sorry about that. I think there are two things that occur. Oh, there are many things. There's so much depth here. First thing I'd like to mention, say if you learn a language, say if you learn Japanese, for example, and this is, I see this with a lot of people. There are two ways of doing it. Either you can immerse yourself in the language and don't give yourself an opportunity to speak English. And by doing that process, sooner or later, you're going to pick up a few words and pick up a language eventually. It's going to happen. Or you can be like a lot of people, and I've seen this in Australia very often. You get immigrants who come across, they stay within their own little community, stay within their own little family, and they literally never learn the language. And that certainly can happen, because they don't trust themselves they don't trust the process of immersion into the culture. and they stay where they're totally safe
Yeah.
in the language confines of their own little community, and they stay basically isolated from the community forever. But I mean, that's what they're happy with that. They're happy not to change. That's the way they are, and that's fine because everything works for them that way. Because they're usually they're older and they don't want to change. They're happy with their little world, and that's fine. So that's one aspect of this situation. We need to immerse ourselves into it and trust the process, knowing it's going to be awkward to begin with. That goes with the territory. Okay, that's a leap of faith to some degree. But I think that the prime example of a leap of faith or faith comes from Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you remember, the prime character had to cross an invisible bridge to prove that he had faith, because that was a requirement of getting through the to the ark. And he literally stepped out into oblivion. He did not know what the outcome was, but he trusted the process. Now, in that case, the risk was huge because he could have fallen into a chasm and died. But he did. And in doing so, he basically fulfilled the requirement of being a man of faith. And so he was shown the rewards. I think sometimes that leap of faith, it can be incredibly risky. It can be life-threatening, but often it's not. Sometimes it's just taking a leap, not knowing what the outcome will be. The worst thing you can possibly, the worst outcome might just be a loss of your time. If that's the worst outcome, then that's fine. And often we can change the situation in the sense that, you remember the people who came after him, the people who were chasing Harrison Ford, they threw some sand into the oblivion and they saw that there was a bridge. And so they didn't have to take a leap of faith. And therefore, obviously, they didn't qualify for finding the covenant. But nevertheless, we, in a sense, don't need to take a leap of faith because we know people have done it before. We know what's there. It's not an invisible opportunity. People have done it. People are doing it. So to that extent, we don't have to take a leap of faith, but we do have to take a leap of faith in ourselves. I mean, that's the real question here, not knowing whether it's going to work for us. And I think it basically comes down to trusting the process, taking a leap of faith in the process. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to have a huge leap of faith and suddenly become a multimillionaire. But sometimes trusting the process means trusting the process in the action of going through the motions another day and going through the motions. And the only direction you have is like in the desert, sun's this way. That's where I'm going. That's your leap of faith, take that next step. And sometimes in this business or anything else, that is what you're dealing with, because it's so far off. You just know it's in that general direction. So keep on going that general direction, and sooner or later, you're going to hit it. Or you're going to die trying, but you're going to, chances are you're going to hit it. You don't know if you yourself are going to do it. You know other people have done it. And the leap of faith is in yourself. That's the leap of faith you're taking, that you yourself can do it. And I think that's why a lot of people, well, some people succeed and some people don't, because some are prepared to take that leap of faith in themselves just by literally going through the motions, whatever it is that they can do to head them in that direction every day. And eventually the small steps become big steps, the big steps become running, and eventually you're not even touching the ground because you're flying. But that's what happens as you confirm to yourself that you believe in yourself. And that's what this is really about. I think the process is there, but whether the process works for you, that's the question that people have to carry in their hearts. And that's why some people drop off, because they lose faith in themselves. They know it's worked for them, but they're different to me because I'm not like that. And they justify that to themselves, and they lose faith in themselves. And that's what this is all about, having that leap of faith in yourself. Because we're sprinkling, the sand is there. It's on the invisible bridge. We know it's there. So really, we've got nothing to lose except a bit of time. Worst case scenario, a bit of time. And the rewards on the flip side are obviously very substantial. So just go through the motions, head towards the sun, and sooner or later you're going to hit it. That's my take on it anyway.
I love it. I love the movie analogies. I love it. We got, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I don't know. We got all the now we're into the Lost Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is great. And all of these movies, right? All of this all of these structures of things is all based on the hero's journey, which basically is exactly that. There's that moment where they cross the threshold, where they take that leap of faith, where they, oftentimes they'll refuse. I don't want to. They like the Jedi meeting with the Yoda. I don't want to do it. I want to do it. And then they have to do something that that requires their faith, the trust in the process, the total surrender kind of thing. And it's repetitive. This is how a lot of the movies, or almost all of the movies in Hollywood, are structured, because then they know that people will want to watch them, where the hero has to go through this process. And it's a great reminder for us for that. And also to realize that that is a process that we go through. And it's not necessarily a lifetime. It can be something that we revisit time and time again with different things, with a workplace, or with family, or with a new endeavor or a new adventure or whatever. And we can go through these cycles and every time have to cross a new threshold, every time have to, build our self-trust, our belief, our self-knowing. And that in turn will give us one of the greatest gifts of all, which is self-love. So that was a great, thank you, Scott. Always great to have you back. And I know it's early in the morning, so I appreciate it that you're here with us. All right, Shaquille, let's hear from you.
I love how you say my name, Shaquille.
Every time, kind of.
But man, oh man, excellent points by Eddie. Excellent points by Scott. They were so great. I damn near forgot what they said. But the overall energy was amazing. Kind of just bringing up the drive of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shoot, now I want to become a damn Steelers fan after hearing about what Eddie talked about. But yeah, having that faith in yourself, and also just having the guts to just swing for it. I have a YouTube channel, and that's kind of my thing, is that I talk about swinging. You got to swing hard, and that life is kind of or the opportunities in life are kind of an elusive pinata that you have to hit, that you have a blindfold on, in that you're confused on where to go and what to do, but you want the candy in it, right? So you kind of just have to go up and swing. And so with that in mind, I kind of I think about a thing that Steve Harvey had talked about. He was talking about how when you have a vision or a dream, I feel like I feel like all of us are here for a reason, that we all saw an advertisement, clicked on it, and chose to go with it for a reason. And it's a weird kind of force that brought us all here in pursuit of our dream. And we each have our, a different reason for joining. However, I'm sure that with our choice to join, we also had a vision of what we could do with it. And what Steve Harvey said was that when a vision is placed in your mind, it's basically a preview of what is to come if you follow it with action and faith. And so it's like when you see a movie trailer, if it actually airs, you know for sure that that movie is on its way to the theaters. Don't doubt it, So it's kind of like with your own visions, if you actually act them out and have the courage or the willingness to be stupid, or to feel stupid or feel like you don't know where you're going, then it will play out better than you imagine. That as long as you show up, that's what's most important. Is that the hero shows up to pull the sword out of the rock. If he doesn't show up, then ain't nothing happening. So the fact that we're here, you know what I mean? and that we meet on like a weekly and daily like basis, like that's huge. So just keep on moving with that momentum and trust and swing for it, baby, because you know good things are coming. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's great. And you said something I think that's super important to even emphasize a little bit more is that idea of, we, especially when we're grown, right? Little kids, they don't mind being stupid or looking ignorant or not understanding. They love it. It's funny. They're giggling. They're doing all kinds of, funny things, rolling around on the ground, doing what, might not exactly be the thing that you do on that, like, I don't know, have a skateboard and they're lying on it and just rolling, it doesn't have to look a certain way. But as we grow older, we get attached to our capabilities and our qualifications and how quickly we learn, how quickly we perform, how quickly we're great at things, how quickly we excel. And then it's like that fear of, like you said, being a novice, a beginner, that beginner state of, wow, I really don't get this, or, this is complex. And can we just be in that place of that, blindfold? Well, it's a new opportunity. We're on a new adventure, where it's a completely new realm. So yeah, I want to be guided by experts. I want to have that assistance, and I'm really willing to feel ignorant. I'm willing to feel, not a master of my trade just yet. But as you said, show up, put in the effort, put in the time, put in the work, and you will, slowly climb up to maybe even a coach one day, right? Because that opportunity is available for any low-hanging system participant. So that was something really important to emphasize, I think, great for us to hear. Stu.
Yes. You guys are an awesome bunch and a tough act to follow. Thank you, Eddie, Shaq, Scott, anybody I missed. And I'm going to add on to that. Basically, if you're sitting here doing nothing, focused on nothing, your mind's doing something. And your mind goes to what your thoughts are. And if you're not thinking about anything, it'll go looking for a thought, right? And those people that nothing ever goes right for me. If I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Guess what? That's what they're asking for, and they don't understand. The mind is a dog that it's kind of like a dog that you train, give it the right commands, it does what you want, right? And if you don't give it any commands, it gets into trouble, right? And so when I got into this business, and I'm brand new, right? I just started in February. And I have, for a long time, become the watcher of my thoughts. And when I get a random thought, I'm like, where'd that come from? What's it up to, right? And your brain is like, oh, here's something new to work on, right? And getting into this business, I immediately heard these stories of people that have had 500 listings, 1,000 listings, even more. And my immediate reaction was, I wish I had that. And I know from my training, that's just putting it further away, right? If I want to have it, I have to turn that into, I have 500 listings. And this is what I'm doing with them. And this is how it's changing my life. And this is how I'm helping people out because it's changed my life. And you got to do that. And when you spend that time, okay, so it doesn't take any longer to say, I am a success in this business. I have 1,000 listings. It doesn't take any longer to think about that than it does, I wish I had that. Because your mind works on what you're thinking. And if you're thinking crappy thoughts all the time and thoughts of lack, guess what you're getting? And don't be surprised, folks, because you set it up. And I like, I used to tell my son, nobody makes you angry. That kid at school, I'm so angry. He makes me so mad. and he'd be seething with this rage, right? And I'd say, Tanner, just think for a second. Just listen to me. I just won 65 million on the lottery last night. What do you feel? Just think about that I won it. How are you actually going to feel? And he starts going into all the different feelings he would have. I said, you just changed your state. Nobody makes you angry. People might make you happy, but it's actually you that make you happy, and it's you that make you angry. So get a hold of that dog in your head and train it, right? Otherwise it's like a 5-year-old in Toys R Us. Whoa, 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 right? Getting into trouble, having fun. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. Thanks, guys.
It's great. It's great because it brings us back. Even all of those books, I just kind of ran through it because I was trying to get to a different point, but it's all of those books start with, thoughts are things and the thoughts matter. And, going through auto-suggestion and reprogramming and making sure that everything that we're thinking and that is in our mind aligns with the purpose and where we're headed. So it's a great reminder, Stu. And I love how you gave us some proof of that flipping. We really can do it. And I'll say, it's easy to lose faith that we can do that. It's easy when we grow older and things we feel like life has a hold of us and, all these things and a list of all the things that ever happen and how we are, we can just run down that list. So it's easy to feel like, oh, this emotion is out of my control. This is just how I am. But if we can practice it, if we can practice and practice and practice and practice that type of reprogramming, it's such a valuable tool. So thank you for that.
A good trick. I'll just leave you with this. A good trick is,
Go ahead.
you're having trouble with it. Think about your successes. Write your successes down and spend
Gratitude.
some time on them and get into that, what you felt when you had that, and get that feeling going inside you, and then transfer it to what it is you're going to accomplish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, what is our first thing in our daily mode of operation? Rise with the attitude of gratitude. List the things that you're grateful for so that you tune your instrument to that. And I always say, go to sleep with that as well. List all the things that you're grateful for that went great in your day. And so it really is a way to do that. All right, we got lots of hands up. I'm going to stop commenting after everyone speaks, and we're just going to go from person to person because we're almost at the top of the hour. Carol, let's hear from you.
Hey, hi there. I'm sorry I came on late, but Karen, really quickly, tell me that quote, the rich people and the poor people.
Oh, that you were. Rich people play the game to win and poor people play the game not to lose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that is really accurate. Right on. Everybody's really, you got everybody really in the mode. You could feel it. You always feel it with Eddie. Always. He demonstrates who he is. I love that. I just think that is the awesome goal for everybody. And then Scott brought in that invisible bridge story. I just thought that was really strong. And we had Jack talking about swing for it. That was such an image of really the power it takes to hit a home run, right? And now Stu, he just went and gave us this whole thing. I had that dog in the head story, thinking about. But one thing I think I can contribute, I think it's really because I've been studying the mind and I've done a lot of that. And sometimes if you try to go from doubting that you can have 500 listings, like what Stu said, and then changing the affirmation to I have 500 listings, it's just not going to work for you because your mind is going to go, oh, baloney. You're not there yet, or whatever it is. But what you can do, and I think it's really fun to play with this. I did it just yesterday. I had Jackie call. I was on one of those calls when you get to, there were 5 of us and we were on this call talking to her. And I told her that I have the people talent and skills, and I can do those things in my sleep practically. And I've lived long enough to know that that's true about me. but I don't have the technology and the computer. But what I said to her is, it doesn't matter because I'm going to get it anyhow. I'm going to maybe need more help. I'm going to be slower maybe, but I'm going to do it. She said back to me, I believe you are. And she said, I hear the determination. So somebody else talked about determination here. But anyhow, I know we're short on time and I want to thank you. And great call, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. It's always great when you kind of summarize things for us. Leroy, I didn't mean to scare off. There was somebody else with their hand up there. We want to hear from you. I don't see her just now, but Leroy, let's hear from you. Leroy Carter.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. I love this group. It's so much positivity that you can't help but be encouraged by listening to everyone. Just a quick review, if I could. Trust the process. Emerge yourself with like-minded individuals. Embrace change. Be consistent. Utilize positive affirmations. That's my input. Make no excuses. Make adjustments. Have a vision is a preview of what's to come. Thank you, Shaq. I like that. Have the courage to show up. Move through obstacles. That's momentum. That's getting the job done. Be guided by experts. I have, not I wish. Thank you, Stuart. Positive people play the game to win, or play the game not to lose. All of that combined is just uplifting. And that's what this group does for each of us. It's my second time here, and I regret not joining sooner because you make my journey easier hearing each and every one of you. Eddie started off before the group ever began, and talking with Vivian and his advice to her, I wish everybody was on time to hear it because it was powerful. And I thank and I love each and every one of you for what you bring.
That was beautiful, Leroy. Thank you so much for speaking up, and welcome to our group. And I love how you made notes from everyone and just kind of pieced it all together and then gave your sense. And also you were vulnerable. You both your emotion and how we're helping you and how you love this space. And it's wonderful to hear. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for speaking up. We hope to see you here more often. We're here every day, all day, Monday through Friday. Arlene, where you been?
I just wanted to let you guys all know that I've been here since July, and it's been kind of rough for me because I work in a hospital and I'm so busy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and I don't want to lose the faith. And sometimes I do because I go home and I'm so frustrated because I didn't get to see this. I didn't get to be in the video, and it hits right before lunchtime and everyone wants to go to ER. So I was busy this week, but I'm not quitting, and I'm getting further and further ahead. I'm getting better. I've got my Etsy account up. I've got my Amazon up, and I put my mugs in there, and I'm probably going to be selling something within the next 2 weeks. And I just don't want you guys to just stay positive. I had a father that always thought, well, we don't have enough. We have to save. We have to save. No, you can't afford that. No, why did you get that? And I don't want to do that. I want to think, even if I don't, I could say, well, I'm going to have that next week, or, I will have this. And I want to stay positive for my life and for my family's life. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I just want to thank you guys all for being so positive and funny and helpful. I mean, you guys are really helping me, believe it or not. And I'm still here since July, and I'm not giving up. So that's it, folks. Have a good day.
We love you, Arlene. Great to have you back. We know your life is hectic and all the great things that you do in your life. So we're really excited when you can make it. I just saw Michael's name pop up on the chat. Michael, we're happy you're here with us. and really great to be here with all of you. We really look at ourselves as this extended family. We're here to support each other, here to uplift each other. And I'm really happy that that feeling comes across and that everyone is able to draw, strength from that, because we need that. We're this illusion where we're all kind of separated in our own life and we're not interconnected, but we really are. And when we support each other in that way, you can really feel it. Another way that support is available, I saw Josie here as well. She's one of the bigger, she gives a lot of support on these calls after. I'm going to end this call now, and you will, the screen will go blank. If you hop back onto the call, the community supports everyone's journey here. So you can ask those how-to questions. You can go to the technical stuff. If anyone, there were thoughts of frustration, overwhelm, that kind of thing, that is where you can get the help that you need from like-minded students and people that have gone through the same process and have overcome those challenges. So they're on the other side of it. Happy to help you. Tomorrow is Fun Friday, everyone. John Lavinia is here with a great day planned. Bring your funny hats, your funny shirts, share your pets, find a joke to share with everyone, and just bring your spirits as high as they were today. So this will be fantastic. So we can all start the weekend right. Great to be here with all of you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And